Today we're going to talk about how to stop girls from flaking on you over text. So you've got this girl's contacts, you're excited to meet up with her, then she flakes. She either doesn't respond to your messages at all, or she does and sets a date and time to meet you, then cancels. Man, it's aggravating, isn't it? What can you do about it? Today we're going to look at some strategies you can employ to get girls flaking on you down to a minimum. Before we do, let's talk about why women flake. Why do girls flake? Well, there are a few key reasons. First off, let me ask you this. If she was super crazy about you, would she flake? Probably not. Or how about this? Let's say she wasn't crazy about you, but the date was super interesting or exciting. Would this girl flake? Most likely not. And lastly, imagine this. She's not crazy about you and she's not crazy about the date, but she wants to go out and she's got nothing else to do. Will she flake? Probably not. When a woman flakes, it's almost always because 1, she's not crazy enough about you. 2, she's not crazy enough about the date. And 3, she's not motivated enough to go out regardless. When you understand these 3 elements, you can use them. How? We'll talk about how and why in a minute. First, you must understand that when a girl flakes on you, it's not really about you. She probably doesn't know you that well. She isn't flaking to spite you. She's flaking because she's busy, and a date with you seems like the easiest thing to push off. Or she's flaking because she's had a bad day today, a hard day, and she just wants to relax, and her date with you is too inconvenient or exhausting for that. Don't take it personal when women flake. Instead, take it as a sign that you need to tighten some things up. Let's talk about how to prevent flaking. Every step of the way, there are things you can do to reduce the number of flakes you get from girls. Number 1, improve your attractiveness baseline. To begin with, the better your fundamentals and the better your game, the fewer flakes you'll have to deal with in general. I still get flaked on sometimes. There's no guy who doesn't. The amount of flaking I see, however, is far lower than it was when I had a big gut and a fat face and dressed terrible and mumbled my speech. Having plenty of practice talking and flirting with girls has helped a bunch too. Keep improving your appearance and the way you interact with women, and the amount of flakes you get will fall. Number 2, don't take contacts from disinterested women. Guys who are novices often take contacts from any girl they can get to talk to them. If you're collecting contact info from every girl who talks to you, regardless of interest level, what'll that get you? A lot of flaky numbers. When you approach a woman, in a way, it's a test. You're testing whether she is receptive to you or could be receptive to you with the right approach. If she's blasé and uninterested and you can't get anything going, do you really want her contact? If you get it, what are you going to do? Try to seduce her over the phone? You can. I've made it work before. The reality, though, is that for every uninterested girl you manage to get out on dates and bed, another 20 of them are going to flake hard and stop talking to you. Want to reduce the amount of time that you waste dealing with flakes? Then reduce the number of uninterested women's contact details you take. Number 3, screen women when you meet them. Most guys don't seem to think they need to tell girls why they like them. She's going to know I like her, they think. I approached her after all. She must know. Well, guess what? She doesn't. Not totally. She might know that you want her, but probably not why. She may assume you were out that day hitting on everything with 2 legs. The less special and magical her connection with you feels, the less likely you are to get her out on a date. How do you make things more special and magical? Qualify her when you meet her. Qualifying is simple. You just tell her what it is about her you like. Be genuine. Look for specific things. For instance, I adore that hat. You've got an incredible fashion sense. Or if she says she's tried surfing, that's amazing. I really get along with people who actually try new things and explore. If you met her on the street and she sat down on a bench with you, I really like that we met and you were walking and then you just stopped and we could just talk like this. You seem like someone who can adjust on the fly and spontaneously just do what she wants. When you qualify her, you give her reasons she can attach your interest to that feel specific to her. That way, when you're messaging her later, she's able to say to herself, "That's why he likes me. It's because of those qualities of mine he highlighted earlier." This makes her a lot less likely to flake. Number 4, send an icebreaker text. Have you ever taken a girl's contact, then waited ages to text her? It felt pretty weird when you finally did, right? That's because the longer you wait to send the first message, the more awkward it gets. If you meet a girl and there's a great connection, of course you're going to want to talk to her right away, right? Thus, why you send an icebreaker text. An icebreaker is just a simple little message like, "Happy we met today, Chase." Make sure you sign your name at the end, just in case you forgot. Most people are bad at remembering new faces and names. You don't want her scrambling around trying to remember what your name was or feeling awkward about it. Your icebreaker breaks the ice of distance communication, and it shows her you're still thinking about her a little bit, even after she's gone. It's going to make a lot more sense when you message her to meet up later. Because of that, it's going to be a lot less likely this girl flakes. Number 5, use Scott. There's a method I use to keep flaking as low as possible and dates from numbers and contacts I get as high as possible. I call it Scott. It stands for this: S, simple texts; C, convenient date, time, and place; O, option of times for her to choose; and T, text before we meet to confirm. You want to keep your messaging simple before you meet. The more complicated the texting gets, the more chances there are to screw things up. Follow my guide on how to text girls in the description below to see how to do this like an expert. Second, choose convenient dates and times for women to meet you. The less convenient the date and time is for her, the more likely she is to get lost or get lazy and not show up. Third, you want to give her a range of times to choose from for the date so that she can pick the option that best works for her. For instance, tell her you're free Wednesday and Thursday after 7 p.m. or Sunday all afternoon. The other thing you can do here is just ask her schedule and pick a time in the window she gives you. This is usually my default approach unless the conversation calls for me to propose a time first. Fourth, you want to text her before the meet. This is so important. You would not believe how many flakes you can avoid simply by sending a girl a text an hour before the meet. Women get cold feet. They start to wonder if you'll show up. They get in their heads and get nervous or lazy. The text you send them an hour beforehand tells them, "Hey, I'm coming, don't worry. I expect to see you there too." What type of text do you send? Just something like, "Hey Bree, just a heads up, I'm running about 10 minutes late, should be there by 8:10. Or like, "Afternoon, Lily. When you get there, meet me at exit B of the subway station." Or like, "Hey Mel, when you arrive, look for the guy in a red jacket outside the dollar store. That'll be me." A simple text like this can reduce a lot of flaking. Don't forget to like and comment. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, please leave a comment below and let me know your favorite trick to reduce flakes. This can either be one that you use already, or you can let me know which of the tactics from this video you'll start implementing first. Will you screen girls more before you take their contacts? Or will you start using Scott? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and one bonus tip before I go. If you really want to up the odds a girl shows up for the date with you, seed it while you're still in person with her. For example, if you've asked her out and she said yes, and you've taken her contact, ask her, "By the way, do you like coffee more or cocktails more?" If she says coffee, tell her, "Oh, cool. I know this gnarly little coffee shop tucked away in a place nobody ever finds it. The decor is amazing and so moody, and the coffee there is just heavenly. I'll tell you about it when we text. We'll meet up." Now you've put a picture in her head of what this place looks like, and you've gotten her to imagine meeting you there. She's going to be a lot more excited for the date already, and she's already envisioning herself with you. This makes her a lot more likely to come out and a lot less likely to flake. I hope you've liked this video. That's it for today. Again, remember to like and leave me a comment. This is Chase Amante for Girls Chase TV, and I'll see you in the next video.